Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Dis.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. So, welcome back, guys. So, I know things were a little tense last session when we left off, so we're going to take it nice and easy while we start today, and we'll go through some of the stuff, and we'll make sure everybody's ready to go before we jump back into what could be horrible, horrible death. So, let's start with the easy stuff. Experience. For the last fight in the last session, we've got 1,300 experience for everybody.
So 2,000 numbers.
Oh, if you survive, this will do it. You have to survive first, though.
I had a feeling it's going to be a survival fight, too.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, we're going to be retreating.
Your healer is down to, nothing?
I'm at 27.
No, I mean, like nothing.
She used a lot of water.
That's why I'm saying
earlier.
my health is at 27.
All right, so next is inspiration. We've got Lazarus and Nim both still have inspiration. That leaves us with Kenna and Dis without inspiration. Anybody got any good thoughts?
It's hard to say in combat because
Yeah.
it's just combat. It's like
That's true.
I mean,
we were
I
doing what we
spent
were.
a lot of water.
Yeah. And I did say before that I usually reserve inspiration for RP things.
Mm-hmm.
So unless anybody can think of an RP thing they did.
Kenna was always nice to Phelan, even though Phelan was not being nice to her.
I mean, that's true.
But was that a Kenna thing, or just afraid of the creepy fortune teller lady thing?
No, Kenna's nice to everyone. When has she never not been nice to someone?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Except Nim.
Or what about the goat incident?
Yeah, I mean, there were those
Yeah,
two.
I was more scared about the fact that we were going to get kicked out of the
and then-
Stronghold.
And thought of that, you just rolled down a commoner.
But it wasn't my intention. If she hadn't run away, there would have been an issue. It was just to trip her and get her back there and be like, don't mess with us again. But instead, she had to run, and then I had to run, and then it was a whole incident.
Personally, I'm still super happy that happened.
I think
That was so good.
I think regardless, I don't think there was enough RP last session
I
to
don't think
really
so.
warrant an inspiration. So you guys will just have to do the best you can. Now, I'm going to cover real quick what happened last session, and we're going to do the usual, does anybody want to bring up anything else that they want to draw specific attention to? And then we're going to take a minute, we're going to go over everybody's HP, how many spell slots you have left, all that kind of stuff, because, I mean, you really are dropping right back into the thick of it, so to speak. So you're going to want to remember where you were at, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's begin with what happened. So, you guys had your long rest, and then you got together with Phelan, and she basically just, smacked you around a little bit, telling you what needed to be done, and everybody got ready, and it was time to go into a burning building. You guys met up with Blaine, found out that they were having a hard time holding the second floor, so they've just been sitting on the first floor, the main floor, and they helped to get you down into the stairwell. Phelan started to remove the seal, and that's kind of when shit hit the fan a little bit. As the seal was starting to release, you had two fairly large fire elementals that essentially burned away the entire second floor. So now you're sitting in a small stone stairwell landing area that is in a sea of fire. Fire in all directions for at least 80 to 100 feet in each direction because it's such a big warehouse building, which has left you with kind of this little island oasis to fight these fire elementals. Now, the fight went well, as we recall. Dis specifically got buffed to high hell. He got, fire resistance. He got hasted. He got a magical weapon, and he kind of went to town. Not saying nobody else didn't do anything either, but Dis definitely got some teamwork shine going on, so that was definitely fun. Obviously, the two elementals were defeated. Yes, and obviously, because we never lost concentration during the fight, Dis still has protection from energy, which gives him half damage from fire because it lasts for an hour. So chances are that's still going to apply. I believe the other buffs he had, however, have worn off at this point.
Yeah,
Oh,
haste only
haste.
lasts a minute.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I can.
So basically, as
Magic
soon
weapons
as
work,
combat
right?
ends.
Yeah, magic. I'm trying to think if I got my concentration on anything else. I don't think
You did not.
No, you didn't.
Once you lost concentration.
Yeah, because I think that was like a round or two before we killed them.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with what happened as Phelan finished removing the seal. As Phelan finished removing the seal, there was a bit of a shake in the building, and all of the fire turned a dark, purpley, shadowy color. And that's where we left off. Is there anything anybody wants to draw special attention to specifically about the plot? Then we'll get to your guys' combat stats.
Note his use of the word seal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
I'll remind us all, even though we probably won't. I mean, we might. The whole Skinner and suicide glyph thing. I just want to bring back to everyone's attention because I think we've kind of forgotten about that for a little bit.
That's true. I had wondered if you'd forgotten.
Which specific part of the suicide?
Well, just the whole like shadowy guy that gave us marks on our necks that are called suicide glyphs. So
That's probably...
A good thing to keep in your head.
I think so long as we're not in a position that we're going to be tortured for information. Right?
Oh, right.
I feel like Lazarus can't really forget.
No.
I mean, he does have something inside him.
yes.
Oh, right, your eyes.
Yep.
Anything else?
A whole lot else happened that day.
All right, fair enough. So let's get back to the nitty gritty of it. So
Sorry, there's one more thing about the plot, and that Meyer did say that the soul of the owner of the building is not where he is, I believe. So Gruff's soul is still somewhere, possibly purpley and fiery now.
now, don't go jumping to conclusions. Purpley fire can happen from anything.
Well,
So just saying there might be some sacrifice if it works out. Well, I mean, it probably won't be either way.
I feel like he might. Well,
So
we
long
also,
as
if
it's
we
not
can get
us.
proof of this, that would be good too, because then we will. I don't know how the hell we're going to get proof of this, but.
You know, we have no proof of the fire on it, so we just don't either.
All right.
Our proof is Phelan. She saw it with her own eyes. Just don't ask me to ask her.
Yeah,
Who else
just
is
our
more
third eye, not
trustworthy
two
than
eyes.
the crazy old gnome woman?
I mean, she beat my insight. It was pretty good.
It's true.
So,
Which you might also have fun.
battle stats. So
Lazarus.
what I've got on my end is that protection from energy is still on Dis. That's what I got.
Mhm.
So we'll start with Lazarus. How you doing, buddy?
He's at like third health at 27. I've got 1 per spell level left, 2 second spell levels left, and my full lay on hand still available. I do have my channel Divinity, which, if works, basically gives us a minute to run away. If this if it works. But that's basically like
Do your smites do extra damage to demons?
only if they have a clause themselves that they take additional damage from radiant, not from smited. Undead,
Demons aren't one of the...
I think
Oh,
undead is the one that takes.
makes sense. Or like aberration. Or
Undeads and liches and that kind of thing tend to take extra damage from radiant. All right. Anything else from Lazarus?
No, not really.
Okay. So
Keep using my auras.
yeah. Stay close. Don't forget, you're all compacted on a little 15 by 15 plank right now, with Phelan in there somewhere. All right, Dis, you're next. How you doing?
undead or a fiend? I don't think it's a fiend. I'm at 23 out of 62 hit points right now. I have 1 maneuver left. I use my action surge, so I don't have that, but I do have second wind available. I can still cast Fairy Fire, Dancing Lights, and Darkness once.
Second wind is action or bonus action.
Action, I believe. Or bonus
Second
action,
wind,
I
I think
believe.
is bonus.
I think it's your bonus.
Let me just confirm that. I haven't used it.
Because
Okay, well-
that if you have to take your turn off the heal, that matters.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's a bonus.
I will say as well, because obviously I assume you all don't stand there like idiots while the room is doing purple fiery shit. So I will say that after we're done doing this review, I will allow each of you the time to douse yourself should you desire it, because you are all definitely dry, especially since some of you were on fire. And you'll get 1 round each to cast heals and prepare.
Nim was what again? Because of the last tidal wave I cast.
Yes.
Yeah, I walked into that.
With protection from fire, can I douse myself and then have, like, is it 2 rounds between? Like, if it was going to do a 1 round to dry, would it be 2 rounds to dry then?
I would say it's probably like everything else in D&D. It probably doesn't double stack.
Mhm.
So you may be better off using your time to water skin somebody else or do some other prepare.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're looking that up. Nim is at
it's a bonus action.
31,
Out of
51, so
Okay.
like just above half. I have a fail portent left. I've only used 3 level 1s and 1 level 3, so I can still like polymorph for haste a few times.
Phantasmal Force.
Phantasmal Force could be useful in this situation, although if it's a demon, I think demon's a little smarter than
Elementals.
elementals.
Statistically, yes.
That's why, basically, if we can set it up to, like, lower his resistances somehow, I don't know if we have any of those things, but if we have a thing to make him weak to, like, Lazarus' save or something to make him fail that fear.
I mean, if it's not super high wisdom, I could try polymorphing it and then throwing my portent into it, and then that will lower all its stats to 1, basically.
Oh, you could also just port in his roll against my channel divinity.
I could do that too.
Yeah. If it ends up being like 1 demon targeting us.
Yes. And that's basically it for Nim.
Okay.
Kenna's at 49 out of 69. I have 2 level 1s, all my level 2s, and a level 4 spell slot left. And my aura,
Right, you're healing.
because that's what's going to have to be.
Okay. Anything else party-wise, stats-wise, you guys want to cover real quick? Part of the reason I'm giving you a round to react is so that, obviously, you don't feel like you have to shout anything out while things are happening in the room.
Yeah, so I guess Lazarus can heal himself a good chunk with 1 action.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of slots, so that would be...
I can heal myself a bit, but max I'm healing myself for 13.
I mean, I can give heals. I can
Yeah,
I'll get my spirit, because then it'll be...
During this period, can I roll my second wind right now? Since it's a bonus action.
Yeah, everybody's getting 1 round.
Okay, I'm going to use the bonus action for it then.
Okay.
Action surge. Or, to action surge. I'm going to action surge and then waste second wind. Nice, 12. 1 off. So I'm at 35 out of 62.
Okay.
So slightly above.
Alright. So, and then should we just decide where the heals are going now?
You probably should
yeah.
quickly.
Who needs heals the most? How many am I casting?
Lazarus probably needs a heal unless he wants to just lay on hands himself, but I think lay on hands is probably best saved at this moment.
Still save it? I was
Lay on hands is an action, right?
Yeah, it is. So
Is
it's
it
kind of
best
best.
Is there a spell you can use right now?
I have Cure Wounds, but it's not. But that's still an action.
Is there a buff spell or something you can do to yourself right now?
Shield of Faith.
Oh.
That's my concentration.
Yeah.
I was planning to dump 25 of my lay on hands into myself or keep 10, which is 2 uses to save other people.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because
That brings me to 52.
that acts as like a cure or something.
52 out of
poison or
what?
illness.
Alright.
Sorry,
52 out of what?
68.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look up how.
The dousing is separate as well, so I assume, Lazarus, you're dousing yourself?
Yeah.
Kenna would does herself.
So you're 52 out of 68 now?
And you're at what?
If I use more.
35 out of 62. I think me and Nim are the lowest relative to our max up.
Okay. Well, if I cast my unicorn, who should last for a fair amount of time.
Unicorn's like a class feature, it's not a concentration or anything.
No,
No, it's just
it's just my thing. But then I can, like, whoever I heal, everyone will still get +7 because I'll all be in the aura, so it'll heal all of us.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So you are 31 out of 51, and you're
35 out of 62.
okay. So you're about even. Okay, I'll cure wounds at the first level, both Dis and Nim.
Can you do that in one round?
Oh nope, it's one round.
Because
I will cure wounds.
Are you bonus actioning your spirit out?
Yes.
Why don't you do it to Nim first? Since he has resistance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
guess what?
Right. Good point. Okay, then I will do it to Nim. You'll still get +7.
Yeah.
Everyone will. And so 17.
17. That's what the.
That's what you heal for.
This is the eraser.
So I'm almost maxed out. I have 3 off max.
Nice. Alright. So, in that time, Lazarus cured himself and doused himself.
Okay.
She's healed him with the unicorn spirit that healed all of us in exchange.
Okay.
What's
and then
everybody's...
I will immediately dose myself.
Okay.
Oh no, you're out of action, so I'll dose you.
Okay. Then how doused are you right now?
I got hit by the tidal wave with
So
my
you're
luck.
Doused.
you're doused.
He's as doused as a
Does
small
chain
gnome can be.
douse you more.
He's just
I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my action. Where? So let's see here now. Where is this elemental that's appearing?
You don't know yet.
I think it's an element.
Or whatever it is. So right now, like, we think we're fine. Other than the seal ending, we're just kind of waiting.
No, you saw the fire change, and there was some rumbling. So, like, you suspect something's up.
Okay.
But we don't have no idea what it is.
Correct.
And we're basically forced into the area we're in because everything else fell.
Yeah.
Everything else is fell down or is on fire.
Well, it's a 15 by 15, so we have like a few blocks aside from where we are.
Didn't that last tidal wave put out some of the fire though?
It would have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and don't forget, I still have those 2 gust scrolls, gust of wind.
We can also escape using reins. Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Unless there's
very
something they can do to
important.
block it, which we're just going to hope it doesn't happen.
Well, if you can't think of anything else, I can start describing what's happening.
I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my action.
Stretch.
Was I the one that killed the last thing? Or
No, Lazarus killed
Lazarus killed the last thing?
We will be re-rolling initiative as well, because you have had that small amount of time in between.
Okay. If I hit or something right now, would that carry over through initiative again?
You could try to hide, but you won't know where you're hiding from anything, so it's just going to be a complete crapshoot.
Yeah, and I'm going to hide just because I'm like kind of the most hidden right now. I think I could be in the grouping we have, in that I'm kind of around everybody except on my right. Or
Okay.
your
My left.
So I'm going to attempt and just hope in that situation, then just try to hide behind
This is
people and
just
set
like,
up.
I can't heal people.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you... excuse me. I'm not going to tell you you can't hide. So, yeah, go ahead, roll stealth.
Alright, 28.
And actually, what we'll do, just to have it done so that it doesn't interrupt the flow, everybody roll initiative now.
Alright, well, smack in the middle. Oh.
Nice.
This is going first.
Maybe. If this thing has a higher initiative, I swear to God.
Okay. 25 and above.
29.
29. Okay. I like how the guy that's
Did you
just
nat
like...
20 that?
Yeah.
I always love how the guy's like, I can't heal and I have nothing to do. Always rolls max initiative. So he's just like always has to do something first. 20 and above. Okay.
It's good for us, right?
Super good. Well, I'm like...
Disc gets to do, like...
I'm proactive, and you guys are more like reactive, and you're... It totally works for what we're doing.
Depends if the foe shows up.
15 and above.
19.
19. Okay. That's Kenna.
Or you can just take a dodge action.
19. 10 and above?
12. 10.
Okay. So Lazarus, 12. Nim, 10. Something else at the end.
Let's see.
Okay. That is good to know. Just bear with me here a moment while I finish drawing out what I need to. Okay. Almost done. So, nobody has anything else they need to do, correct?
Well, there's things I'd like to do.
But can you do
Nope, I don't think so.
that's an important question.
It's an action.
Okay. So everybody's doused except for Dis,
Yeah. But I'm protected from.
as long as she doesn't lose concentration.
Yes.
Warcaster, we're fine.
And Lazarus has 1 water skin left.
Warcaster, we're fine, she says.
Oh god, please, that 40 damage.
60.
We'll see about that. I had to do something to make the fight challenging. Okay, so I will begin describing what happens. So everything begins shaking and the fire turns that purplish, black-tinged, shadowy color. As the shaking stops, you suddenly feel the ground underneath you give way as the platform that you're standing on drops the 7 or 8 feet to the bottom level, stranding you in the basement level. There is now no connection to the top floor. You are 2 floors down. The floor in between has been burned to a crisp. There's a hole above you that's about 30 feet up. That's the hole you came from. And there are still the dumbwaiter, shafts at the northeast, south, and west that may possibly serve some sort of purpose. Though, however, they are currently completely invisible in the sea of flame that surrounds you. The purple fire has completely surrounded the stone platform that you stand on. It fell and shattered, but luckily for you did not create difficult terrain. So at least you have that going for you. As it falls, and you take a moment to settle yourselves, I need a dexterity save from each person to see if anybody falls prone.
Are we in your order?
Yes.
Man, I wish I had inspiration. Which one just give us?
Okay.
10.
10.
With the aura, 15.
Okay.
23 with the aura?
Okay.
Or
Six.
24?
16.
Okay. Everybody lands pretty hard, but everybody manages to remain upright except for Lazarus, who falls prone during the
I
fall.
made you all stay up, and I'm the one that took it.
Typical.
As Lazarus tips over and Dis kind of regains his balance, Dis, you notice that Phelan is gone.
Phelan!
Alright, good. We don't have to worry about that.
As you yell, there's no immediate response, but there's a sort of chuckling sound from somewhere further into the fire. And as you take a moment, a voice reaches out from that fire. Elementals destroyed. Seal broken. Word of the demon lords of the east can now be received. Greetings, heroes. Your stronghold will be taken, your people killed, and your heroes burned. As it finishes, you notice something off to my right, so we'll call it DM East. The fire changes again from that black and purple color to a more normal fiery tone. And as it does, from that far edge of the building, a shape begins to materialize in the fire. It's quite tall. It's at least double the height of Dis. It's very blurry. It's hard to look at because, of course, it's all fire. So it's hard to kind of look at. It's very bright. But as it continues to form its shape, it remains really blurry and hard to put your finger on in terms of where exactly it is. It gives you the impression that ranged attacks will have a hard time hitting it. It seems to kind of wobble a little. As it strides and takes its first step forward, you realize it's a giant, elongated skeleton with forearms and long hand limbs that stretch almost to the floor. And as it kind of takes that one step forward, you hear it cry out.
It's fine.
As it takes that step, and it calls out and notices you looking at it, you for the first time get a look at its effect on the room around it. As it takes that first stride forward, it pulses out. And for 30 feet around it, the fire intensifies and begins to crack the stone of the floor. We can put him...
Can't shoot at range. Don't want to get close.
It's right there. The edge of its aura is 5 feet away from Nim and Kenna. Even being 5 feet outside the radius of its ability, you feel the heat coming off of it, even doused. It's plainly obvious that getting close to it is going to be a problem. As it takes that first step forward, it kind of locks its vacant orbs with the rest of you, and this is what it looks like. For those of you listening at home, I'll make a note and I'll put a picture somewhere. maybe on our Facebook page or something.
Instagram.
Yeah, that would work too. So, that is what strides out. It says nothing. It just begins striding towards the party. And that's where our initiative picks up. So, Dis, that's you first. The demon is still 40 feet away. Sorry, I should note, so the entire room around you is on fire, but you do notice that the fire is drawn towards the demon to a certain extent, so areas further away from the demon are slowly losing fire as it's being pulled towards him, but not enough to clear a direct path anywhere yet.
And you said the edge of the aura, how far out does it go from?
30 feet out from the creature.
Okay. So it's 10, 20, 30. Right
so
there,
it's there's a 5-foot gap between the edge of the aura and Nim and Kenna.
And does it travel? How does it go around him?
It travels in more or less the usual circular pattern.
Okay, so probably like coming down here.
Yep, something like that.
And this is like a visibly obvious aura.
It's visibly obvious because even though the rest of the room is on fire to a certain extent, everything close to him is much more intense, and you can actually see it being hot enough that it's cracking the stone floor underneath it.
I was gonna say, we should split up before we all get taken out at once. I'm gonna move this way. Sorry, I'm gonna count this at 10, 15.
It will be difficult terrain through fire.
Okay, and
that being said, with the fire resistance that Kenna's giving you, you're freely able to move through the fire without difficulty. Although you'll probably be the only one.
yeah, I'm just gonna move there.
It's not even my full movement. That should be out of the aura for now.
Yes.
So distance. And then how much space do I have before the side of the room?
The sides of the room are just past the edge of our mat.
Okay. And so I have like about 40 feet.
Correct. Though it is through fire, so it is difficult terrain.
Okay.
So for those that can't see, Nim basically just Dis kind of angled off to the side to try to give a little distance between him and everybody else.
And then I'm going to use my action to just take a dodge action.
Okay.
And kind of just watch as it comes in.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so just kind of gives it a little bit of space. As you give it a little bit of space, you watch as its head kind of watches those that are still together on that platform, and then kind of watches with a bit of an amused grin as you stride semi-confidently into the fire, and it just kind of watches you make that move to the side before looking back at the group in the center, and finally you hear, "It seems you've wounded the children. I feel they'd be angered by this. Let us see if they can take you again." And it raises both hands, and you watch as those two fire elementals, roughly where they would have been when you killed them, out of that area, the rock that's been cracking from the fire begins to lift up and liquefy into molten magma as two small creatures begin to form in that area. These creatures... these creatures look a little different than fire elementals. They're more magma than fire. They're kind of like, you can almost think of them as like the dense core left over from the fire elemental when it was defeated. And as they kind of pull up, they do give off a little bit of light, and they kind of smoke a little bit, and they look something like this, kind of like old men made out of lava as they kind of congeal together. And they will both be right here. And right here.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, that's the demon's turn. It just kind of chuckles to itself. And we will move to Kenna.
Alrighty.
Oh, sorry. So the two fire creatures are basically just surrounding the party a little bit.
Cool. I'm gonna bonus action shillelagh.
Okay. So you kind of flick your wrist and that blue barbed wire appears on your club.
Yeah, just attack this guy.
Attack the little
bear.
lava guy
The little
that's next to
lava
you
guy.
and
Yeah.
Lazarus. Okay.
Yeah. 21.
Okay. That is a hit.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
The lowest I could roll.
All right. So Kenna cries out her war cry, whatever that sounds like. I mean, she really hates fire, so.
Probably yells, "I hate fire!" Here we go.
Kenna learns two things from attacking a creature made out of lava. The first is that, surprisingly, it's not resistant to regular damage. So her hit seems to do full damage to it.
Mine's magical bludgeoning.
Oh, well, it would have anyway.
Okay.
And the second thing she learns is that it doesn't look very hurt.
I mean, for 6. Who'd have thunk? I yell out those things to everybody. It doesn't seem to be resistant to magic types or non-magic types of weapons. Also, I can't hurt it very much with this thing. And that's that.
That is that. Okay. That is Kenna. I guess you also learned that it didn't light you on fire when you attacked it. Like big fire elementals do. Lazarus, that's you then, buddy.
I feel like I've been left to make a decision. Well, I suppose I have to get up.
That's always a good start.
Yeah.
So half your movement.
How far did that staircase crumble to, Bose?
All the way to the top.
So we're 3 floors down.
Yes.
Wide open spaces.
We're not in a wide open space.
It's wide open. It's
Yeah,
just,
we are.
it's
Well,
just,
it's just
covered
on
in fire. It's lots and lots of fire. I mean, the fire is slowly congealing towards the demon. You waited out long enough, you can probably run anywhere you
I
want.
fell into a basement that's on fire.
Right?
The flames got higher.
And you will burn.
Gosh darn it, I'm trying everything we can so we don't burn.
Some decisions. Maybe just.
Lazarus is
I
not sure what
suppose
to do.
I kind of have to use my bonus action to ask, because no one has.
All right. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we fighting or running?
I'm backing up at least a bit.
Says Nim 5 feet from burning fires of hell.
I don't really know where we're gonna run to.
Well, I think we want to kind of.
Go backwards.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really make too many decisions with one bonus action, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Towards this guy.
All right, so you're going to stride towards the other magma creature.
I'm gonna menace the one that's near Nim. I'm gonna take a swing at him.
Okay, go ahead.
While also backing up and keeping him within my order. 19.
That's a hit.
And the second one is also 19.
Also a hit.
Smite or not?
You're smiting it?
I'll do a first level smite to this one.
Okie dokie. All right, so Lazarus raises up his hammer, glows all goldeny.
For 8 bludgeoning
8 bludgeoning.
and 10 radiant.
Okay, so 18 total.
And second hit is 7 bludgeoning.
Oh, and then the other hit is 7 bludgeoning. Ooh, that's ugly math. That's ugly math.
You should see math in my head.
Okay, so Lazarus, you raise up your weapon, and I don't know if you want to shout anything out when you try to beat this thing to death. Or that seems good. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Yeah, and you crack into it with the hammer. The radiant damage explodes out. You watch a bunch of the magma just rip off the thing. You seem to have heard it, and your damage did do full damage. But it's it seems to be pretty tough, being made of liquid rock and all. But nevertheless, you've heard it a good deal. Anything else Lazarus wants to do?
No, that's it.
Okay, that takes us to Nim.
Do I immobilize the bony one? Or try to?
Did we get to respond?
Yeah, as long as he uses a bonus action to call out, party members can respond as long as it's brief.
Sure.
Whatever you can.
Whatever you can try.
Alright. I think that's
range.
Just double check the range. Yes, it is within range of that. It's probably better to use the lower level spell slot in case it's just like outright. So I am gonna go ahead and attempt to phantasmal force the bone demon-y guy.
Okay. Read it out while I roll.
Yes, I just have to describe a
Or you can. I guess you could use your thing too. Important.
And it's a wisdom save?
it's an intelligence save.
Intelligence save.
Yeah, before you roll, might as well just balls to the wall. It rolls a 7 for its save.
Okay. That seems like a good use of that.
And I'm going to make it wrapped in super cold, thick vines
Cold, thick vines.
that are like, or chains, sorry.
Cold, thick chains. Okay.
And it is envisioning that as what is restraining it.
All right. And obviously it fails. A 7, it'd have to have some sort of crazy intelligence to survive that. So yeah, it is phantasmal forced.
Okay. I don't think I have a Phantasmal Force card, but I will give you...
And basically, what is it, an intelligence check every round I think it has to try to make? Or it just reacts to it?
Depending on how intelligent it is, it can use its action to make an investigation check.
Okay.
That's my spell save DC.
Yeah. Or it can just react as best
I think it has to have
would.
some sort of indication that it's...
Depends on the intelligence of the creature. If it's, like, really intelligent, it can probably, like, think its way out of it. But yeah, I think the most common is a creature would do whatever it would do if it thought that was real, and then if that didn't help, then it might be able to make an intelligence check.
So he gets swatted.
Oh, no, he was just...
You want him a little further back.
He got pooped by the boat.
Oh, I see.
And I guess I can't really... I'll back up towards Lazarus 1. And I'll stick my tongue out at this guy.
I just want to take the opportunity and just move out of range and make him try and target Lazarus.
But then he could take an opportunity on me.
It depends if he spends more attacks on you on his round.
He has concentration going on Phantasm Force.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, definitely don't want to use that.
It depends on if him standing beside it means he's going to take the attacks.
I think I'm just going to chance it, because I don't want to just instantly drop concentration by taking, like, a...
Yeah.
And I'd rather just be closer to you, so that I'm, like, solidifying myself in your aura.
Also a good plan. Okay, so Nim moves a little closer to the little fire guy that Lazarus attacked, and he has phantasmal forced the demon. What did you? How did you do that to the demon?
I was like, whimsical icy chains bind you.
All right, I like it. I'm sold.
Fancy change.
I'm sold.
I like it.
That was perfect. Okay, so that was the end of Nim's turn. Now it's these little magma guys. It's their turn now. Little magma guys. So obviously the one's going to attack Kenna since Kenna attacked it, and the other one is probably going to attack Lazarus because Lazarus attacked it. That both seems fair. So they each do 2 slam attacks with their magma-y appendages.
There's no touching.
All right, so starting with Kenna, that's a 16 and a 9.
Neither hit.
Okay, both miss. Kenna manages to save herself. Okay, and for Lazarus, that is a 20 and a 10.
Well, one hits.
Okay, 1 hits.
Let's see what kind of damage these fuckers do.
Okay, so you receive, a solid 5 bludgeoning damage. And as soon as it swings at you with these magma-y appendages it has, kind of clawed hands. The first one you manage to dodge out of the way of, but the second one catches you in the side. As it hits you, it's not that much damage, but there's an intense heat attached. And you immediately feel every molecule of water on you just instantly evaporate. But it saves you from whatever the effect was going to be.
Oh, so they just ignite you.
Lazarus is dry.
That's
Okay.
great.
Well, that's those little guys' turn. That's all they managed. That'll take us to Dis. They're not going to move either. They're perfectly happy to just kind of menace you there. They look very angry at you for, murdering them.
I heard Nim cast a spell, so I'll just move back here. Plus, there's not really much I can do over there. So move this side.
Oh, I need to make a con save.
Oh, yes.
I got attacked. Oh, I didn't
You
get
didn't
attacked.
get
I
hit,
didn't
though.
get hit though, right?
Didn't get
You
hit.
dodge both. All right. Now that I'm over there, I'm going to swing at the one that's been getting swung upon.
Okay, so Dis circles back around, comes back to the party, and is going to attack the little magma guy that Lazarus beat up earlier.
Crit.
Okay.
That works.
Crit indeed.
I'm going to sneak attack.
I would hope so. I think we've done the crit tables once before, so I won't bother explaining them, but long story short, he rolls a d100 and gets a little bit of an extra attack. What are you attacking with? Slashing?
Yes.
Okay. Roll your d100 first.
Alright, here we go. Come on. 12.
That's not 100.
It was...
I don't want to be that guy.
it was almost right there.
Okay, it has to make a con save. It succeeds the con save, being made of rock and shit. So nothing happens with the crit other than, of course, you'll still get double damage as usual. Swing for the fences, Lil Dis.
Oh. That's rough.
That is rough.
23?
23?
Yeah.
Okay. 23 damage. Okay. So you come up, you sneak up behind it, and you get the jump on it. It's totally focused on Lazarus, and you just stab it in the back really hard, trying to rip all the way down as best you can. You open a big gash in its back, and it definitely looks like it's under half health.
I attack again.
Okay.
For 22.
That's a hit.
For 7 damage.
Okay. 7 damage. Okay, and you give it another, as it's kind of like freaking out and flailing towards its back, you just give it another quick stab. Stab.
And then I'll end my turn.
Okay.
Come after me.
That's a good taunt.
I
That's
know.
a good taunt. So, while Dis has been running back to the party and stabbing the magma creature in the back and taunting it, the demon's been over there, thinking it's wrapped in chains of cold ice, and it's been getting very angry about that. Those of you that are paying attention, you can hear it kind of almost muttering to itself as it just gets madder and madder and madder and madder, until finally you just hear it. It kind of freaks out a little bit and just, "You bind me!" And it instantly teleports into the middle of the party.
Jesus.
So you can move it there. As it just instantly appears in the middle of all of you, that radiance aura that it gives off just eviscerates everything around it. I need everybody to... Oh, never mind. There's no save for the actual damage it does. So everybody receives... Oh god, where are my dice? Why can't I think? Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Everybody takes 8 radiant damage as the fire intensifies around you.
Radiant?
Yeah, it gives off fire and radiant damage.
Jesus.
However, as it finishes the teleport and that action, obviously brings you in range of its aura and you get that first taste of just how hot this guy is. It starts to get really bright too, especially for you. Like, this is an intense brightness for you. However, it's not done. It's still freaking out, and it just sort of flails its arms out, and you watch as the center of its body, the heat inside of it intensifies again, and that aura pulses. And it does a searing flare that ignites everything inside of its aura. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
+5.
I think I'm going to use my inspiration.
That's probably a good call. Right, Dis?
Nope.
Oh god, no.
I take the higher of the two, right?
Yes, you do. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's see how everybody did. Lazarus.
23.
Okay. You save.
17.
You also save.
13.
You do not save.
15.
You also do not save. So, for those of you that saved, you take...
Do I take less because I have protection from fire?
Yes, you will. It's still halved for you. Actually, no, sorry, it isn't. It's radiant damage, not fire damage.
Fuck. I'm being countered. Also, we need to run.
So, those of you that saved, you take 13 radiant damage.
Okay.
Those of you that did not save, you take 27 radiant damage, and the fire is so intense that it actually sucks the air out of your lungs, and you gain first level exhaustion.
That's
How much damage
disadvantage
is
on
there?
ability checks.
That's disadvantage on ability checks. Sorry?
How much do you take?
27 damage.
Does that total for the con save? Or do you do the con saves separately?
For which?
Sorry, not con saves. The
Concentration.
concentration saving throws.
It's the total damage.
So it'll be
It's
the,
half.
It's half the total damage.
But I mean, it's built up from both the first flare and the second flare?
No, they were separate attacks.
Each separate con checks.
Okay, so the first one
Um,
would just
I
be
need to make two.
base.
Yeah, so both of you have to make 2 con saves.
+5.
Okay, that one
I
passes
get
on the first one.
Okay, so you both... The second one, you have to beat a 13.
Beat it.
Hey.
Yeah.
we both
Beat it.
Okay? So you manage to sustain your effects.
get- Which is just gonna piss this guy off even more.
Okay. That is the creature's turn. It is now in the middle of you. At the start of your turn, as long as you're inside of his aura, you will get that damage again. Not from the flare, but its passive damage will cook off again.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is Kenna. Kenna, you take... Ooh, that was much higher. 16 radiant damage.
What? Oh. Smart idea.
We just all start powering. He just comes in and gets angry at us once. We're like, nope.
It's a very bad video.
Oh!
Oh no. Pause.
Yeah, hang on, I got it. We're gonna take our break a little early. Wow, what a cliffhanger! I wonder what's gonna happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.